The terror began every single afternoon when the school gates opened and the sun hung high in the bright sky, casting long shadows across the cracked pavement where laughter should have lived, but instead fear ruled in silence. And for 15-year-old Zareen Ashcroft and her only close friend Amaya Collins, the walk home became a ritual of quiet dread as a group of older students waited like circling storms, their mocking voices slicing through the warm daylight, their cruel taunts echoing against the walls of the street, turning ordinary daytime into a battlefield of helplessness that no teacher ever seemed to witness and no adult ever arrived in time to stop. If you believe kindness deserves a second chance and that no one should walk through fear alone, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Light of Kindness, because stories like this remind us that compassion still lives in the world. Zareen had once loved the afternoon sun, the way it glowed on tree leaves as she stepped out of her classroom, the way it touched the edges of the playground where she used to laugh without hesitation. But now every school bell felt like the echo of an approaching storm as the bullies crowded the sidewalk, making simple acts like walking or breathing feel dangerous and humiliating, and each snicker or shove tightened the chains around her confidence, pressing her into a quiet version of herself that even her reflection no longer seemed to recognize. Amaya tried to stay strong, pretending bravery, but Zareen saw the tremble in her hands and the mist in her eyes whenever their backpacks were torn or their notebooks scattered across the dusty road. And still no one stepped forward to help, their footsteps swallowed by the noisy afternoon traffic and the indifferent chatter of strangers who passed by in bright daylight, choosing comfort over courage. The days blended into weeks, and those weeks into endless moments of silent endurance as Zareen's. Grades slipped, her laughter faded, and her once lively presence turned into a shadow that moved through class like someone afraid of taking up space. While at home, her parents mistook her silence for seasonal sadness, unaware of the invisible wounds carved into her spirit by the relentless cruelty that locked itself to the same corner near the school every afternoon. Zareen began taking longer routes home, drifting past sunlit open markets and quieter lanes filled with blooming bougainvillea. Yet even those detours were not enough, for the bullies followed, their voices sharp against the peaceful afternoon air, draining the warmth from everything good that dared to exist around her. One clear day when the sky stood its brightest blue and the world appeared almost too beautiful for such darkness, Zareen and Amaya found themselves backed against a grocery shop entrance while laughter rang cruel and hollow above them, when suddenly the deep tremor of engines rolled through the street like thunder breaking open the clouds, and a shocking silence fell as several motorcycles glided into view, their polished chrome catching the afternoon sunlight, their riders tall, rugged, and commanding, wearing leather vests and calm but unyielding expressions that felt like the embodiment of unspoken justice arriving exactly when hope was nearly gone. Over time, teachers noticed the shift, classmates whispered in admiration, and Zareen's spirit slowly stretched its wings back toward confidence, her academic focus returning, her posture lifting, her smile finding its way back into the mirror she once avoided. She started volunteering with Amaya in small school activities, painting kindness posters, helping new students find their classrooms, and using her own healing as a quiet shield for those who might one day face the same darkness she had endured. The afternoon sun, now her friend again, poured warmth over her path like a promise that even the longest days can change when kindness steps forward. Maverick and the riders never asked for recognition, never claimed credit, and never tried to replace one form of dominance with another, for they understood that strength was not in intimidation but in standing up where others turned away, and they knew that every small gesture of protection planted seeds of courage that would bloom far beyond this single street. Zareen watched them from a distance, her heart swelling with gratitude, wondering how strangers could become silent heroes, how compassion could roar louder than cruelty, and how the simple act of being seen had reshaped her entire world. Months passed beneath bright skies and open faces, and the bullies, stripped of their power by unwavering presence and watchful respect, faded into humbled retreat, leaving behind a street reborn in sunlight, laughter, and collected bravery. Zareen found joy again in ordinary things, like the sway of trees, the chatter of classmates, and the comfort of her own footsteps echoing down a safe road, each step whispering that she was not alone, that her worth had always existed, waiting only for someone brave enough to remind her of it. As the final school term approached its close and the afternoon air warmed the pavement beneath soft golden hues, Zareen felt a calm confidence flowing through her, different from before, stronger, more grounded, shaped by hardship and healed by kindness. And in her heart lived a quiet understanding that even the darkest moments can be transformed by those who dare to care when the world pretends not to notice. If this story of resilience, protection, and silent heroism touched your heart even a little, please show your support by engaging with this video, letting your voice honor the power of compassion and the lives changed by courage. Special request, kindly comment below what this story made you feel and whether you believe kindness can still change the world, because your words truly matter. Zareen walked home one last time. Under the brilliant daytime sky, her steps filled with peace, her memories no longer marked by fear but by hope reborn. As she carried forward the strength these bikers had helped ignite, promising within her soul that she would never forget the day the world finally chose kindness over cruelty, and how that choice taught her she was never as powerless as the shadows once made her believe.